Hello everyone, so today we are going to do Leetcode daily challenge container with most water. So basically this question, let me first explain you with the question and then with approach we could follow in this question and then I guess we would be able to code it by yourself only because it is not simpler if we are able to understand this particular question. So the thing is that you are given with an integer array height of length n, right? So this is length and height. Basically, the width, which we could say is this particular width is n that they want to represent. Means basically there are n heights that they are saying. There are n vertical lines. So there are n vertical lines corresponding to all those drawn such that two endpoints of the ith line are I0 and I comma height of I. So I comma 0 and I comma height of I. So basically they are simply telling that how vertical it is being represented, I comma 0 and I comma height of I. And I simply represent that if it is 0 then it is 1 then it is 2. So I is equal to 0 is here, I is equal to 1 is here, I is equal to 2 is here. So like this only they are saying about this. So what we are required to do is find two lines that together with the x-axis form a container such that container contains the most water. So we simply are required to find out the two lines between which we could simply store the most water. That is the requirement of question. So and at the end what we need to do is return the maximum amount of water a container can store. So yeah, we are simply in other sense we can say we are simply required to find out the maximum area which the water could cover here. So this is what we are required to find out here. This array is given where each integer simply represents height at that particular ith position, and these ith position also play the role in the width. So this is the sense of this particular input, that there is n width of the, means basically the vertical bars. There are n vertical bars. Okay, let me explain you here only. So the thing is, we are given the diagram like this, right? So these are the vertical lines which are there, means up to some height, and these are total vertical lines. So basically this particular portion simply represents the width, right? Means width is here and this particular portion represents the height, right? Means this is height and this is the width portion. This is what is being there, and that particular array which was there, it was representing this, means 2, then 5 is there, then 3 is there, then 4, then 2, then 6, and then at the end it is 3, right? So this is what it was representing, and what I was saying it was 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So basically 6 plus 1, 7 vertical lines we are having, in 7 heights are there, and we are simply doing like this. Now comes the part that we are required to return the container with the most water, right? So how we can find out the container which is having the most water? See, if we start from this direction and even from this direction, so we would and at that point only we are required to keep a check of this particular height and this particular height. So we are now at 0th position and in -1 position. So at this moment we would be having water which is being filled here, right? We are not concerned that how much height it is having or something like that. We are just concerned with the fact that how much water would be in between these two poles, right? So if we calculate that, right, so it would be a first area. Then we'll move further and check that in this particular portion, means first we'll try to check for move from this direction and we'll try to check with this particular portion, right? But if we check with this particular portion, then at that moment also we won't be able to get a maximum height, right? So here from this direction also we'll try to check by this position, and that in that also we'll keep a check that could there be some height, means we'll check the just next height to it, means which one is bigger, means is this bigger or this bigger. So in that context also we'll simply update our new height, and when we will be updating that new height, so it will simply give us this particular portion where we could find out the maximum height with us. So basically, time indicate we would be simply updating with the left and right pointers also, which is basically the width, and then also with the height of these particular portions. And while doing so, we will be keeping a check over the maximum area which we could obtain at every point. So this is how we would be required to do this particular question. And basically, as it is the area of rectangle only, so we'll do it in that direction, means right minus left into height of right, means whatever is minimum out of them, we'll take that particular height and then multiply with the width. So this is how we would be doing. So these are the points which I have written, that we are required to simply keep track of left and right for width. That's the thing which we would be doing. And next thing, we are required to keep the track of height of left and height of right for the height. And then both of these above points will simply redirect to our area. How area would be there? Area would be simply like this, means right minus left. This is stuff here. And then minimum of height r, comma height left. Means whatever would be minimum, because water would be filled to in that particular position only where it is minimum. Means it could fill till this. This is some extra portion, means water can't be filled like this because it is simply what we say, a plane only, right? So that's why we are required to keep track of minimum of height of both of them. But at the same point, we would be having a variable area which will update that is this particular height maximum or is this particular height maximum. So because of that, we will be able to get at the end that what is the maximum height we could obtain. This is basically a question of 2 pointers, because we would be simply traversing this whole array using the concept of 2 pointers and opposite 2 pointers. But the trick here is we are also required to keep the track of heights in such a manner that we are able to get that possible maximum height. So for that, let me walk you through the code with how we can do that particular thing. So here the thing is that how we can do it by using 2 pointers. So we are having this in basically which will be our maximum width, that is how many elements we are required to traverse, then left and right, and max area at the starting 0. So this is the main logic which we are using. Means this 2 pointer thing which is there, right, and then at the starting we are updating that minimum of height of left or right into right minus left for the area purpose. This is the area of rectangle which we are taking. Why I am taking minimum, that also I have explained. And then this is that particular part, means how we are required to simply go ahead, or means going in forward direction or backward direction. This is the main logic which we are required to check, that if height of left is less than height of right? Basically here also the water would be filled, right? But we haven't taken this position. Then we start from here. Height of left is this one and height of right is this one, right? So here it is less, right? So at that moment, what we are doing, we are simply doing left plus plus. So that's why the pointer comes out to here, means the new pointer is now here. So that's why it is left plus plus. And then when we'll traverse again, right? So we'll take that height of left is not less than height of right. Instead, the opposite is there. So we will do right minus minus. But at that particular position, when we do this right minus minus, right? So we will be easily able to check that now area has become this particular, right? So when area becomes at this particular position, so here the maximum function which was there, it will automatically detect that which one was more. This one, the previous one stored, or the new one. It would be this one only, right? So even if we would be going ahead after checking this particular concept only means, then again it will move ahead and so on. So the maximum area which is there, which was stored at the second point only, it will be our final answer. So at the end, we would be returning our maximum area. So in this whole concept, as we are using this two-pointer approach here, right? So basically the time complexity for this particular solution, time complexity is simply order of n, and the space complexity here is order of 1. Because we are not using any extra space here, so that's why it's order of 1 only. So this was all for this particular question. If you are in doubt or any other approach which is much more optimized than this, if you think so you have, then you could simply comment down. So this was all for it. Thank you.